Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Wonderful. As everyone gets into their place, may I then ask that you remain standing for the playing of the national anthem of Jamaica. Thank you. And in Jamaica, it's our culture to start off with prayer. So may I ask you to remain standing as Reverend Glenroy Clark of the United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands come to open in prayer.
Let us bow our hearts in prayer. Let us pray. Sovereign God, we pause to give you praise and thanks this morning. This is the day that you have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We thank you for visionaries and those who continue to lead the path for the advancement of life and economic well-being in our country. We thank you for the blessings of the Palladium Hotel Group and the investments in our country, in our parish, in our town. Lord, as they are about to expand this resort, we ask your blessings. The blessings of God, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit will be upon them, that all will go well, and that through your blessings you will guide and direct the proceedings. Bless us all who are gathered here today for this great moment. May your name be praised and glorified. For we ascribe greatness unto you, our God, through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. And thank you so much, Reverend. And that's very kind of you. Instead of moving the mic, you actually stooped a little bit. Thank you. Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, members of the Cabinet of Jamaica, and in particular the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, the Minister of Tourism, His Excellency Jose Maria Fernandez Lopez de los Toros, the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Spain to Jamaica, Senator Janice Allen, the Opposition Spokesperson on Tourism, members of the Houses of Parliament, Senator Delano Seabright, newly minted Senator, Ms. Tamika Davis, the Member of Parliament for Hanover Western. I also see Mr. Dave Brown, the Member of Parliament for Hanover Eastern, Ms. Marissa Dalrymple Filbert, who is also to be here, His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Sheridan Samuels, Mayor of Lucy, Mr. Abel Matutes, the Vice President of Grupo Empresas Matutes and President of the Palladium Hotel Group, other special guests, government officials, representatives of the private sector bodies, tourism industry stakeholders, and I see so many of you here this morning, representatives of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. No, that's lukewarm. Let's try this again. Good morning. All right, let me try it again. My sisters are, multilingual. They speak several languages. I only speak Jamaican, Patois, and English. So let me say it, Wagwan. All right? Let me try. Bienvenidos a Jamaica. Oh my goodness, my sisters would be proud, and I think, Abraham, I did quite well. You're smiling. Well, let me tell you, I smile back at you because when I do your bio, I think everybody will be so very excited that we share a little bit of sporting history, and that is the love for Liverpool FC. But in your case, it's Barcelona. I beg your pardon, no, the cardinal sin. You are Real Madrid. All right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my absolute pleasure and honor to be here to welcome you to the groundbreaking ceremony for the expansion of the Grand Palladium Hotel and Resorts in Jamaica. Please give a round of applause to all the major players in the Grand Palladium group. It's a good time to be alive, and it's a good time to be in Jamaica. So many things are happening across the world, and you almost trying to figure out, well, is this confusion? It's not. Well, you hit the right spot, because in Jamaica there is clarity. In Jamaica there is growth. And in Jamaica, our tourism sector is doing exceptionally well. In fact, right after this function, I believe the Prime Minister and the Minister will continue with the Tourism Resilience Conference that is also taking place, because Jamaica really is a world leader when it comes to tourism. I want to tell you a lot about what's going on in terms of the expansion of the Palladium Group, but there's a man who can tell you so much more, and he is Abel Matutes. Now, let me tell you a little bit about him. Apart from his love for football, Abel was born in Barcelona, and after spending his early years in Brussels while his father worked as a European commissioner, Abel moved to Madrid to finalize his high school studies and to continue his bachelor's degree in economics. Afterward, he moved back to Spain, or another part of Spain, in his family's company to deal with the tourism business there, and brought the resorts for the group to the Caribbean, and in particular to Jamaica. In 2006, Abel was named CEO of the Palladium Group of Companies and Vice President of Grupo Empresas Matutes, following in the steps of his father. In 2012, Abel received the Tourism Achievement Innovation Medal awarded by the Council of Ministers in Spain. Please, that deserves a round of applause. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you think that Abel is over 50 or maybe 60. He is a young man. As a 40-year-old husband and father of 2 boys and 2 girls, he enjoys spending time with his family, his dogs, and friends. And more importantly, watching La Liga from his couch, and 2, he also plays football in Spain. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the Vice President of Grupo Empresas, Mr. Abel Matutes.
Thank you very much, and especially thank you for saying I'm 40. I'm pretty close to 50, but I can still say I'm 40, yeah. Thank you. No, well, let me say hi to everyone, obviously, and thanks, Most Honorable Prime Minister Andrew Holmes, for coming. Honorable Minister Edmund Bartlett, thank you. His Excellency Jose Maria Fernandez, Ambassador of Spain, thanks. Distinguished authorities from Lucy, from the parish of Hanover, from all over Jamaica, thanks for coming also. Thanks for being part of this important day for us. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here basically, I'm gonna try not to make it too long, because I think but I'm only gonna explain a bit of the project we're about to start in Jamaica. We're obviously very excited. We've been studying a lot what to do, and I'm here happy to introduce you and to present you to this expansion that is going to be right there. We're bringing to Jamaica the two most luxurious brands we have in the all-inclusive segment. The TRS, which is an adults-only 5-star luxury brand, and the Grand Palladium Family Selection, which is a similar brand with also concierge service and everything, but a bit more focused on families, okay? Those two brands, for example, normally get the recognition of leading hotels of the world. In some cases, because of some restrictions, they cannot get this recognition, but the standards are always the same. The expansion is going to be 948 new rooms. This resort right now has 1,050 rooms. So in total, there's going to be 1,998 rooms. We had to put like 2 more rooms in order to try to round up. But we'll see. But let me tell you that this makes this resort, this complex, the biggest complex in our company, and we're very excited that it's in Jamaica. The total investment, it's going to be over 500 million euros. Believe me, we're trying to make it work in order to control it and not be too over 500 million, but I mean, definitely it's going to be over 500 million, which is also, by the way, the biggest investment ever done in our company for a resort, and it's also in Jamaica. This complex is it's trying also to add some of the things probably the 2 hotels we already have since 2008 in Jamaica were lacking of. For example, probably we were lacking a bit more convention space, convention facilities, and part of this complex is going to be having the biggest also convention facility we have in our company. We're going to be able to hold at the same time up to 1,200 people in conventions, and also something important I think for everyone, but especially important in Jamaica and also in this area of Jamaica that you're a bit separated, let's say, from Montego Bay and all that, is the housing capacity for our collaborators, for our Jamaicans, and we're gonna build 2 new buildings that are gonna be able to host 550 people more. So during this investment, we expect to create around 2,000 people during construction, and then during operation, we're gonna have around 1,650 new employees, which adds to the 1,600 employees we already have. So it's going to be the amount of employees in Jamaica is going to be rounding 3,200, 3,300. I'm not going to make it, as I said, too long, but I would like to point like a couple more things in our company. This resort, which, by the way, I'd like to give like a special remembering, if that's the word. Sorry for my English, by the way. To Gabriel Tellez, which was the architect, good friend of the company and a very good architect that unfortunately passed away like 3 or 4 months ago in Mexico. But I mean, that's his final legacy, and we're very excited to do it. But we've been focusing a lot on making it very sustainable. So the architectural design was, since the beginning, thought to be like that, and so it's a design that is very well planned in order to try to optimize the energy, the efficiency of the energy. We're also going to do. We already do it here in the first phase, but in the second phase, we're going to focus even more on sustainable energy solutions, and we're gonna make a photovoltaic plant in this resort, And also we're going to create a tri-generation plant of, in order to basically also make way more efficient the production of energy and way cleaner. In terms of water conservation measures, we're doing a seawater desalination plan. We're going to treat the wastewater and reuse it for irrigation, the same way we do also here in the first phase. And I would like only to insist a bit on the commitment the company has with Jamaica. The first time I landed in Jamaica, I fell in love with this country, and I truly say that because I feel it. I really wanted Grand Palladium to have an asset in Jamaica. Finally, we were able to do it, and by the way, we were helped by Jampro back in the days, and which is something that I gotta say that I've always pointed to everyone that one of the reasons why we're in Jamaica is the help the Jamaican government gave us when we decided to invest here through Jampro. And basically what we're going to try to do is keep growing in this country, keep bringing prosperity to the country, and keep also bringing the tourism development to the country, and also wealth through that. Okay. I'm not going to say much more. I would like to say that since some years we've been focusing a lot, and we've been investing a lot in the ESG program that we have in our company, Palladium Cares, and I gotta say that Jamaica is one of the places that we started creating some educational centers, especially in Hanover. Educational centers that we're trying to form people in order to be able to work with us or in any other resort. We're not asking them to stay with us, but I mean it's important to form the people in order to be able to have a better future. And Jamaica was the first country we started doing it. Now we're doing it also in Mexico and in other places, but Jamaica was the first one. And regarding these, by the way, one of the things that we're focusing a lot, we do that already in Brazil, what I'm going to say, and we've been trying to do it in Jamaica. Unfortunately, we haven't been able yet to find the right spot, but let's hope to see if we can work together also with Lucy and with the Parish of Hanover in order to be able to do it. But what we do, for example, in Brazil, is initiatives where we teach locals how to farm. We give them the resources to be able to have like a proper farming facility, and then obviously also through the waste of the hotel, all that, the compost, all that, we also use that in order to be able to plant new crops, let's say, and then these products are bought by the hotel another time in order to create the wealth to the local community and also create like a sustainable circular economy. So we've been trying to find the right spot in Jamaica for a bit. Let's see if after this meeting we can make it happen, but nothing. I just want to say thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Prime Minister. It's a real pleasure. And nothing. Just saying that I hope in 2 years we're going to be able to enjoy these not in renders, but as a reality. Thank you very much.
Abel, thank you so much. We saw your heart and soul a while ago, the things that make you tick. You know, sustainable development in tourism is crucial, and that you have that greater vision for ensuring that there are linkages to ensure the sustainability of the hotel with the farming and education. that is wonderful, and that the Palladium resorts are dealing with their corporate social responsibility in a real and meaningful way. Ladies and gentlemen, please give them another round of applause. May I also be the first, Abel, to take the opportunity to recommend to the Prime Minister that in the world that's now distressed with all kinds of issues of citizenship and immigration, that you may just become an honorary Jamaican, and so we need to give you a passport. Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big deal for Jamaica. So Abel spoke about, 500 million euros in investment, and in 2 years' time, we're going to see a beautiful hotel, the expansion of which will equal about, if we give it Brata, 2,000 rooms. And we want to give it Brata because it's really 1,998. So we can give the Brata, right, Minister? But importantly, what does it mean for our people? Well, we're going to have skilled laborers on this project. More than 1,500 Jamaicans are going to be employed in building the hotel and in helping to build Jamaica. We're going to have so much more in terms of the linkages that can form from an alliance such as this. So great things are happening, and let me be the first to say thank you so much for your investment and your expansion in Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, the ambassador of Jamaica, of Spain to Jamaica, is with us. By this, I think he can safely say that he too is an honorary Jamaican. And so, Prime Minister, again, we may have to extend passport privileges to the ambassador. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for His Excellency Jose Maria Fernandez Lopez de Toros, the ambassador of the Kingdom of Spain to Jamaica.
Hello, good morning. Most Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Minister, and all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much first for this cordial invitation to participate in this momentous event, the groundbreaking ceremony for the expansion of the Palladium Hotel here in Hanover. I'd like to emphatically congratulate the Palladium Group for this initiative. I'm absolutely convinced that this will be a very successful project, key in Jamaica's tourism development, of which we can all be very, very proud. I'd like also to commend the Palladium Group for its vision, leadership, and commitment to this country. As you all know, Palladium Group is an internationally recognized group with decades of experience, operating 40 hotels around the world, Spain, of course, but also Dominican Republic, Mexico, US, Brazil, Italy. It's synonymous of quality and efficiency, and it's one of the flagships of Spain's thriving tourism industry. But what is equally important is that it has also been a pioneer in the development of tourism in Jamaica, where it has been operating for decades, helping to spread the good image of this country, attracting thousands of visitors who will take away unforgettable memories of their stay in Jamaica. I also commend its strong commitment to local communities and to best practices in sustainable tourism. As brand new ambassador of Spain, because I've been here just for a few weeks, I'm particularly honored and proud. I think that Spain and Jamaica, we have a very successful partnership at all levels, cultural, educational, economic, commercial. Spain's nowadays a thriving economy. It's possibly the fastest growing economy in the Eurozone. And it's also quite a serious trade and investment partner. In the case of Jamaica, Spain is the largest investor with an accumulated stock of nearly $2.5 billion US dollars and strong projections for expansion, such as the projects we are realizing today. And this is an undisputable proof of Spain's confidence in Jamaica's future. Spain is also an undeniable tourism power. Bear in mind that, for instance, last year, my country received around 92 million foreign tourists, which is nearly twice the size of the population of Spain. Not that bad. It's an all-time record that shows a success story in tourism management. What's most remarkable about this is that it's sustained over time. So nearly 80% of our visitors do repeat, and many of them year after year. So Spain, through its tourism groups, like the group Palladium, has developed quite a Jamaica story would also be a success story. Prime Minister, Jamaica is an example of fiscal stability and prudence. We recognize that. And with policies creating an enabling and favorable environment, investments will multiply. And so will the opportunities for economic and social development, in which we, Spain, we want to be partners. I reiterate to you that you can count on Spain, on its companies, and on its people in this shared effort. It is very important that we keep the Spain-Jamaica partnership working actively and constructively. And I think we're doing that in an exemplary manner. For instance, Minister Bartlett, to just return from FITUR in Madrid, one of the world's major tourism fairs. And I'm sure that you just came back with a bag full of quite exciting ideas. And similarly, the Director General of Tour España, Miguel Sanz, who's here with us, has come from Spain to take part in the Global Tourism Resilience Conference. So it's a solid partnership, and I think that in the area of tourism, Jamaica and Spain, we have lots of things to do, and we must cultivate common objectives and make a common cause, including international fora like UN tourism, where we have lots of things to do as well. And I think this is the way forward: trust, seriousness, and solidity. So in closing, thanks to the Palladium Group for giving us a reason to be genuinely proud. Thank you for your confidence with we share in Jamaica's future. And thank you to the government of Jamaica for your spirit of hard work and commitment. So may our partnership flourish. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes. Buenos días.
Thank you, Ambassador. You know, your speech just reminded me and solidified a long time where I trod. Far where I come from, Spain and Jamaica. It's been a long journey. Thank you so much. That investment really that is valued really at $2.5 billion really does say a lot in terms of that partnership that we've been as a government and of course government to government, you know, honing for so long is very, very important. Thank you so much once again, Ambassador. We really look forward to even more in the future. You know, one of the things I love about this property is that it has so many fruit trees. You can pick a mango right here. There's a mango tree. There's some other trees over there that interest me that later on I'll take a closer look at. But it's a season. It's not quite ripe on the trees as yet, but they're coming to come. Well, someone who is coming to come is a young lady that I've known for a little bit. She is now expanding her horizons in so many other spheres and walking the Prime Minister a lot to ensure that she becomes fit in some time to come. Ladies and gentlemen, may I invite Senator Janice Allen to the podium, who is the opposition spokesman on tourism, to bring greetings.
Thank you, Naomi. Yes, I'm coming to come. Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Minister Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism. Obviously, I must acknowledge too, even though Naomi, you have established the protocol, Mr. Abel Matutes, Vice President, Grupo Empresarias Matutes and President of Palladium Hotel Group. Ladies and gentlemen, all the amazing and wonderful partners in tourism, members of the media, good morning. Okay. Yes, I am indeed pleased. I'm indeed pleased to be here for this significant moment to participate in the celebration of this groundbreaking ceremony for the expansion of the Palladium Group. This expansion shows that This is an expression of the true testament of the strength of brand Jamaica and the confidence that investors have, both local and foreign investors have, and continue to place in this our country. We do know, Senator, we do know that tourism plays a vital role in Jamaica's economy. And investments like this one not only create jobs, as was mentioned before, but also stimulate the wider economic industries and linkages, including agriculture, transportation, entertainment, and other industries, and as far as education, as was mentioned earlier. And while large-scale investments like this one, they are indeed important, it's no doubt, I'm sure the Minister will agree with me, that the future of the tourism industry relies on a balanced investment in all types, where investments of all sizes thrive and where growth extends beyond our major resort hubs, and where the benefits of tourism are indeed felt in every community. So that's why today this groundbreaking must not only be about expansion, it must be about impact, and you spoke about that earlier. As we celebrate this investment, we must also ensure that tourism growth translates into real and lasting benefits for the people. And that brings me to the heartbeat of this industry, our people, our workers. The success of any hotel and any tourism venture depends on dedication, warmth, and professionalism of the Jamaican people. And I have no doubt that a key reason for this expansion of this is the outstanding service that has been delivered year on year, at least in the last 17 years, by the team here at the Grand Palladium, and that has provided impetus for your expansion. Whether it is from the front desk operators and those in the kitchen, to those in housekeeping or entertainment, and also from our farmers and transport operators, every single person is a vital part in shaping the reputation of a world-class destination. And as we speak of our workers in the importance of continuing to deliver excellence, we must also ask all investors to continue to like and Palladium Group investing. And that's why for the work that you to make this industry bigger and better. So as we move forward, sustainability measures were mentioned earlier because of Palladium Group's value it places on the environment and sustainability. Let us build a tourism sector where investors feel secure, where workers feel empowered, and where communities feel the positive ripple effects of all developments. I now commend Grupo Empresas, Matutes, and the Palladium Hotel Group for their continued confidence in Jamaica. This is what true partnership looks like. Investment that goes beyond profits and prioritizes progress and indeed purpose. Congratulations to the Grand Palladium team. I look forward to the success that the expansion will indeed bring, and I remain committed to working towards a stronger, more resilient, and more inclusive tourism industry for all Jamaicans. Congratulations, and thank you very much. Walking toward
pleasant good morning to everyone. Particularly, I want to feel the good morning, because it is a good morning, isn't it? So let me hear you then. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, Prime Minister, you heard that? Good morning. You felt it a little bit inside. Prime Minister said no. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, now we're beginning to sound as if we're having a good morning, and I see a very broad smile on Abel's face, which suggests that it is indeed a good morning. So my distinguished Prime Minister and our world-class leader for not just Jamaica, but the entire Caribbean, the Most Honorable Andrew Michael Holness. And I want to give him a very special round of applause as we welcome him to this expansion exercise here today. And you will forgive me, Mr. Mayor, if in recognizing that you are in fact the first citizen of the town of Lucy, that you should have precedence. But you would allow me to introduce the newly minted senator from the tourism sector, Senator Delano Seavright. And I want to give him a very special hand. Members of Parliament for the constituencies here, the very efficient and beautiful Tamika Davis, Member of Parliament for Western Hanover, and the equally efficient and streamlined Member of Parliament for Eastern Hanover, Mr. Brown. Spoon, they call you Spoon? Everybody knows him as Spoon, right? I mean, you know what Spoon does. It keeps you healthy at least. So, wonderful. And of course, the opposition spokesperson on tourism and linkages, who was referred to a while ago as someone who is coming, and I agree. I just can't tell the time when she will actually come, but yes, she is coming. We take note of that. The partners all, and I want to especially recognize to the president of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, who is in the audience, Mr. Robin Russell. There are a number of chairpersons here that we have from the tourism agencies. One of whom, of course, if I didn't mention his name, you would say, Minister, what's going on? And he is perhaps the chairman of all chairmen, the Honorable Godfrey Dyer, who is perhaps the most outstanding and long-serving chairperson in the tourism industry. Your Excellency, I have deliberately left you almost for last, not because you are the least, but certainly because of how important the collaboration between Spain and Jamaica is and has been. And you're right, I just came from Fitur, where I met with our Minister of Tourism. We discussed collaboration and to draft a memorandum of understanding between Jamaica and Spain in relation to a number of key areas, including human capital development, which is at the heart of what our whole tourism exercise is here in Jamaica. So I wanted to just reassure everyone, and particularly whilst my comments will be few because the Prime Minister's day is today, and I never ever try to steal his thunder by any means. But I have to indicate that one of the wonderful achievements that we've had over the years is to have built out a policy framework that enables the kind of development that now ensues in the tourism space. And when a development like this one, that embraces not only the elements of sustainability, but looks to inclusiveness as a standard by which sustainability is going to be attained through resilience, it tells us that the policy direction that we've followed as a government, Prime Minister, has been sound and proper. And I want to make the point that that policy position has informed the whole position that we've taken in terms of developing the human capital within the industry. Because tourism is about people. And never mind what AI is offering and portends And never mind the exciting prospects of this knowledge age that we're in, and what it is going to do to excite the new experiences that will ensue over the years. At the heart of it all is people. And it is about people that we are brought here, and this expansion is about people. 600 houses more for the workers of the tourism industry here in Hanover. That's about people. Thank you, Abel. Working with the farmers of Hanover. And long ago when Abel's dad, Don Abel Sr., came here, and 15 years ago we opened this facility, the Grand Palladium, with 1,054 rooms, which was the largest hotel to be in Jamaica at the time. And we brought the King of Spain, Juan Carlos, and he opened this facility. And for my little share of it, I became what they call the most illustrious Don, Edmundo, yes. You recall that, yes. And it was a wonderful experience. And so what we are saying is that this addition with the second generation of Matutes, because the first generation of Don Abel, that generation created 1,054 rooms. The next generation of Abel Jr. begins now with 950 more rooms, but at a higher level of experience, with a new dimension to luxury and an exciting prospect of building inclusiveness at a level never before seen in this area of Jamaica. So, what are we going to have here, Prime Minister? We're going to have 950 of the finest rooms in the region. And Abel told us, he just came out of Dumrep, and I know that, and he just opened a hotel, but this one is going to be better than the one he just opened in Dumrep. And he was excited about telling me that. But more importantly, this one is going to have the elements of human capital development and growth embedded in it. I mentioned the housing, I mentioned all the farmers. So 950 more rooms provides 950 new opportunities for linkages. And we have established that through policy, Prime Minister, and the activities of the Tourism Enhancement Fund. We have now created the opportunities for linkages in the tourism sector with other sectors to go at a dimension unprecedented in our history. And I'm excited about that prospect of having the farmers. And when we discussed in Fitur, Excellency, that was a hard part of the agreement. Every investor that will come to Jamaica from henceforth must have a component for housing and for linkages with the sectors of the economy. And just to make it very clear, training and professionalization of the industry is at the heart of this policy direction. Already, we have, through the Jamaica Center for Tourism Innovation, certified 25,000 workers of the industry with the American Hotel and Lodging Institute Education Certification, and our cooks, that you call cooks, that we now are calling chefs, with the American Culinary Foundation certification. And yesterday I was at another hotel talking to the chef there who says, I am now ready to enroll in the program to get my qualification as an ACF. And what that does is to give the workers of the industry possibilities for mobility. Never was there before in this way. And further, it gives them opportunity for portability, so that the workers from Jamaica can go anywhere in the world, take out their certificate, peddle their wares, and get premium rewards for their labor. To create a labor market arrangement is not just to talk about paying this or paying that. To create a labor market arrangement that is sustainable is about professionalizing the industry. And the Prime Minister of Jamaica gave me that instruction 8 years ago, to start with when we established the Jamaica Center for Tourism Innovation, that the whole purpose of this is to enable the workers of our industry to be able to have mobility here, portability in the world. But the basis on which all that is predicated must be on two things. One, equity, and two, merit. Merit means qualification, certification, which makes you undeniable for any position within the space. And equity means that once you're qualified, you must never be denied. And so, Prime Minister, just to close off this part, because it's so important to us. Because what's going to drive this established development is going to be qualified professional people. And the quality of the experience that will come from this activity here in Hanover is going to be predicated on high quality performance by all. And so what we have done is to certify. And when you certify, you can then classify. And when you classify, you can remunerate according to classification. And that will change the labor market arrangements in tourism. So we certify our workers, we classify our workers, and then we can remunerate them according to classification. Prime Minister, I want to thank you for the work that you have done for tourism over the years. And have enabled us to build out the confidence in our investor core. That this year, Prime Minister, we are breaking ground for nearly 6,000 new rooms, a total of nearly 2.5 billion US dollars. And this facility begins that process. We have 3 more to go before this half of the year is over. And by the second half of the year, we'll finish the lot for this year. 20,000 new rooms over the period, providing 50,000 new jobs across the spectrum of the country, enabling more wealth to be dispersed across the various segments and sectors of the economy, because tourism is a catalyst that enables growth and prosperity for all. Thank you, Abel. Thank you to Mommy and Daddy, and thank you to Linda and the twins and everyone for the confidence that you continue to place in Jamaica. And let us make this new development a signature statement of sustainable development and resilience. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Tourism is indeed the catalyst for growth and prosperity. Jamaica is built on tourism. And every year we come to recognize that we break more records, record arrivals, record numbers of tourists coming, record number of hotels being built and rooms expanded. So thank you so much, Minister, for that and for your leadership. You know, if you find a good leader in tourism, you must find a better leader who guides the team. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, a big part of leadership is having steady hands and vision. And sometimes you see just the front-facing elements of the vision without understanding the back end that takes place, the planning, the encouraging, the broader vision of linking all kinds of different elements to make sure that you have, in culinary terms, a beautiful cake. Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness has presided over stability. His is indeed steady hands, economic stability and growth, infrastructure development, inclusiveness, innovation, again, growth in tourism, housing for tourism workers, insurance for tourism workers, a heart for the people, improvements in our own safety and security. I could go on and on and on, but it's 12:10, and it's time for him to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Most Honorable Dr. Andrew Holness, comes and addresses us.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies. Let me acknowledge His Worship the Mayor of Hopewell, Lucy. I'll tell you why I made that little slip later. the world-leading Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, members of Parliament, senators who are here as well, including the opposition spokesperson on tourism, distinguished ladies and gentlemen all, and of course, Abel Matutes. It is a wonderful morning, and I don't need your reaffirmation for that. We have tried to get it out of you, but it is a wonderful morning. And it is both an honor and a privilege for me to stand before you today as we break ground for the expansion project by the Palladium Hotel Group. A project that not only signifies growth for this esteemed brand, but also marks another significant investment in Jamaica and in our growing tourism industry. I extend a warm welcome to our partners from Grupo Empresas Matutes and the Palladium Hotel Group, who have demonstrated unwavering confidence in Jamaica as the destination for investment. Your commitment to expanding your footprint here is a testament to the strength of our partnership and the boundless potential of our nation. Today, as we celebrate this momentous occasion, we are not just breaking ground on a physical infrastructure, we are laying the foundation for a future where tourism in Jamaica is more inclusive, sustainable, and innovative than ever before. This expansion project aligns seamlessly with our new national pivot towards robust and inclusive growth. For most of the last decade, we have, as a country, focused on fiscal consolidation and debt reduction. The scale and speed of Jamaica's economic turnaround has no parallel amongst our peers in developing countries globally. Friends, I want you to consider this. Unemployment is at a historic low of approximately 3.5%, creating opportunities for many Jamaicans. 10 years ago, the unemployment rate was 3 times this or more. Our debt to GDP ratio, and when I say this, I know that there are staff members listening who may not fully grasp what this statistic is and what it means to them personally. And I don't propose to go into an economic exposition at the moment. But just accept that it is a good thing, that what you owe is now far less than what you produce in any one year. So if you were to take all that you produce to pay off the debt, you would have something remaining. 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. If you produced 100 units of whatever it is, and you use that 100 units of whatever it is to pay off your debt, you would still have about 50% owing. No, that's not the case. So your debt compared to what you produce is much smaller. In fact, you might be interested to know that the debt to GDP come the next financial year will be somewhere around 68%. That's the lowest it has been since the early 1970s. So say whatever you want to say about things that going in the right direction. Get your mind around these facts. Stop listening to the nonsense that is on social media, that is misguiding you and carrying you all over the place into all kinds of rabbit holes of considerations that don't elevate your minds. That was not the case 10 years ago with our debt as a nation. And what does that mean, to have a debt that is constantly declining and now lower than what you produce? It means, my friends, the people who are working in the hotel industry here, it means that the government can sustainably spend on the things that matter to you. Governments can always spend, even when they are in high debt situation. They just borrow more and they pay high interest rates. But you see, in our culture, the average citizen separates the finances of the government from their finances. And it only becomes a reality when the issue of tax and taxation comes to confront them. So it doesn't matter if the government is borrowing more or promising to spend more until the budget is read and the government says, well, in order to pay back the debt and to give you all that you want, we have to increase your taxes. And then government becomes a big problem. For the last decade, you have had a government that has not had to come to you to say, well, to give you the things you want, we have to increase your taxes. We will be presenting a budget this year, and I've been saying this now for about 10 budgets now. We will be presenting a budget with no net new taxes. And in fact, this budget will have no new taxes. So think of that very carefully now. Isn't that going in the right direction? Which other direction would you want the country to go? Other than to have the fiscal stability that your government is not a burden on you. Now, I know it makes some people uncomfortable to confront these facts because they have no response. But I don't mind, because we are speaking things here that are incontrovertible. This government has run the economy in the right way, and there is no question that the Jamaican economy is going in the right direction. Our credit ratings are at their highest levels ever. We are just 3 upgrades away from investment grade status. Just 3 upgrades away. And when our debt goes below 60%, we will improve in our ratings. After 57 consecutive years of deficits since 1966, we have achieved a balance of payment surplus on our current account for the past 2 fiscal years. We have never done that in the past 57 years. We have done that now. Our net international reserves reached a record high of $5.6 billion at the close of 2024. That's the highest it has ever been, $5.6 billion. Which other direction do you want the country to go? We recorded 12 consecutive quarters of economic growth after the pandemic, before we were hit by Hurricane Beryl and Tropical Storm Raphael in the same year. And after the temporary setback, I'm certain, I'm confident that we will return to growth. And I say that because the signs are there. business and consumer confidence are both on the rise. Business confidence rebounded by 7.3%, nearing the 2019 high, while consumer confidence rose by 4% over the previous quarter. We are making significant gains as well in crime reduction. Homicides are down by 19%. Yes, homicides are down. Let me put it the way you've always heard it. Murders are down by 19%. And for the period 1st of January to February 15th, this year, murders are down 24% compared to the same period last year. And now we are at an all-time low for major crimes. Crime was never this low. The last time we had seen these numbers would be in 2001. So we are moving the country in the right direction. Now, we are in the season where we are talking about voting. Let me say this. Businesses vote. Businesses vote. And you know how businesses vote? They vote by making investments. 500 million euros is a big vote on Jamaica. Consider it carefully. For any investor to put that much capital at risk, especially in a jurisdiction that is not their home territory. This is now what you call foreign direct investment, and I want to acknowledge and thank His Excellency, the Ambassador from Spain, for that country's support for Jamaica's tourism. You mentioned that you have a portfolio here of in excess of 2 billion euros invested right here. So that's a second big vote, that someone from another country would analyze our risk situation here and say, I feel comfortable putting down that level of investment. Significant. I want you to also consider that businesses vote by not just putting up the buildings, because they can't take it up back. It's here. But they vote by expanding employment, by making a commitment to the people of the country for income from the investment. And I see where the direct employment will go as high as about 1,500 during the construction phase, and probably about 5,600 direct and induced employment as a result of this expansion. That's a big vote on Jamaica. It's clear businesses feel that the macroeconomic indicators are going in the right direction, which is why Minister Bartlett can say we have over 6,000 rooms that we will be breaking ground for, or have already started this year. Massive vote of confidence in the government of Jamaica. But I want to be clear that, and I'm now speaking to the staff who may be gathered and listening and who probably will hear this voice coming through the speakers and resonating in their ears, that we want you to vote as well. And we want you to vote for the government because the government is doing the right thing for you. recently there have been issues regarding the status of workers, their compensation and their conditions of work. Again, another uncomfortable subject. But Jamaica is a democracy, and these issues have to be dealt with in the public domain so that the public understands. I gave certain directives to Minister Bartlett to engage the hotel sector, to say, let us take an enlightened approach, because the tourism product is not just the lovely buildings that are going to be built. The tourism product is even more so the people who will give that warm, welcoming smile to your guests to endear them to return over and over and over again. And in the budget, either myself or Minister Bartlett will make certain announcements. Abel and the ambassador alluded to it, that when you visited Fitor, you would have had certain discussions and negotiations that I'm sure the workers are going to be very happy to hear. We gave directives as well. We didn't just come up here and talk about it must be inclusive and innovative. No, we gave directions that we cannot continue to have the tourism product develop in an exclusive way, meaning that we build resorts which it would appear that when you step off the main road and into the resort, you're in a different world. That's not the kind of tourism that we want. The entire Jamaica should look like a resort. Yes, I don't stand here happy that we're driving on some roads that look like safari. You're going on safari and then you come into, these lovely circumstances. No, it's not two Jamaicas, it's one Jamaica. And we intend to build out one Jamaica infrastructure that is world class for everyone. So, a part of that infrastructure, which has happened in the past and, governments just didn't deal with it, is that 10 years ago and beyond, we would have been announcing the development of 950 rooms. And there would be no consideration for where the workers who are going to service these rooms would live. Now we have made it clear. If you're going to build hotels in Jamaica, you must make provision for the workers. It's not going to be the case again where the hotels look nice and then across the road it's an informal settlement and all the problems that come with informal settlements. So I'm happy to see, and I congratulate you and commend you, Abel, that the Palladium Group will be building 550 accommodation solutions for workers along with the 950 rooms. That is how we make tourism inclusive and sustainable. The government will also be announcing its own project to ensure that our tourism workers have dwellings and solutions that ensure that when they come to work, they don't have to worry about going home and being wet by the rain when it falls, so that they can give a genuine smile to the visitors. That is how we take care of equity and fairness in our society. So, you would see, therefore, that the government has announced certain policy decisions that really constitute what we call a pivot. We're not coming off of the space that we have defended, which is the fiscal management of the economy. But we are turning our attention to other problems in the economy. I am not saying that we have solved the economic problems, but I think we are at a good place where the economy has developed resilience and it is strong because we are disciplined in the management of the economy. But now it's the time to turn to the other things that create robust growth. And what are some of these things? In the pivot, we talk about the Aspire agenda. We must be looking beyond ourselves and ahead into the future. And this means creating access to economic opportunities for all Jamaicans. It means safety and security. It means investing in people, human capital development. It means investing in infrastructure. It means reforming the bureaucracy, and it means economic diversification and new industries. And if you put all of that together, you get Aspire. So let's look at access to economic opportunities for all. Minister Bartlett always speaks about linkages, that we have to get tourism more integrated into the local economy. And it's a little bit difficult to do that because of the historical evolution of tourism in Jamaica. While I was sitting beside Abel, while the minister was speaking, no discourtesy, Minister, but I just wanted to confirm some news reports that I had seen before, that over-tourism was such a concern for Spain. The thought was sparked by His Excellency pointing out that the number of visitors would be probably twice the population or more of Spain. And some of you who follow international news would know that in some of the well-visited cities in Spain, there are protests that over-tourism has caused the rental market for locals to, the price of rentals to increase, and that locals can't get to use certain facilities. And can you believe this? One strategy to deal with over-tourism is to increase the fees for visiting some attractions. Market tool to regulate the demand. Jamaica does not have that problem. But the other side of the problem is that we need to get more of our tourists into our townships, into our communities, into our markets, interacting with our people, buying the goods and services from our local businesses. We need to do this. We have given certain directives in this regard. One of them is that we expect that our investors here will provide our farmers in particular with long-term supply contracts. That is critical. You know, it's hard for a farmer to put in a crop and not know that if in the next 6 months he will be called upon to supply. The tourism sector must make a commitment to our farmers, and not just our farmers, but to all the people who supply with long-term supply contracts. The question about whether or not they have the capacity to deliver and whether or not they have the quality of the delivery of the product, those questions can't be answered until they get a chance, until they get the opportunity. And that is a critical part of the Aspire agenda. We must give our local producers who supply the tourism industry long-term supply contracts so that they can invest in building capacity, so that they can invest in making the quality the standard that you would like. So that is a directive that if we don't see it happen by virtue of this kind of moral suasion, then we will have to go further to ensure that as our tourism grows, it is genuinely growing in a sustainable and fair way. Which, for me, this means everybody will prosper. I'm sure that if we get our producers up to the mark, it is cheaper for our investors to do business here than to import from elsewhere. And so that is part of the pivot. and the directive that we have given to the tourism industry regarding how we want to see our tourism develop. We talk about safety and security. Yes, reducing the murder rate, reducing crimes generally, that is for the entire society. But it is also of strategic value. We have done a study on Brand Jamaica. And one of the things that is particularly impacting Brand Jamaica is the association with violence. It's not talked about, people deal with it quietly, but let's be real. You know, the gangs, through their activities, whether it is scamming or other such activities, have had an impact on the number of persons who would come here. And the impact is primarily through what we all have been struggling with, these travel advisories that have had an impact. So we can't operate as if these challenges don't exist. We must deal with it. It is in our economic interest to bring crime under control. And this government has taken the steps, like no other government has, to truly grapple with this issue, to bring it under control. Jamaica has an incredibly sexy mystique. And sometimes, you know, danger is a part of that. But we could do 3 times what we are doing now in tourism arrivals if there wasn't this hesitancy about crime and safety and security. Bear in mind, however, and I must say this, that the impact of crime on tourists is very small. I'm not going to use the word negligible, because one person impacted is not to be neglected. But it is very small. But the impression that it gives is very large. And so we have to deal with this. We have to genuinely reduce crime and murders in the country and also deal with the perception of it locally and globally. And that is a part of the pivot that we are working on, and you're seeing that pivot taking place. As it relates to human capital development, Minister Bartlett spoke about that. We took that decision 5 years ago to develop the institutes, to train the workers, and that is going very well. Investment in infrastructure. I don't think anyone here can contest that the government has made massive investments in infrastructure. And I'm going to deal with 2 points in one. For the last 9 years, Jamaica has had the highest level of capital expenditure in the budget. Highest level. No other era can compare to this. The challenge, however, has been on 2 levels. The first level is the bureaucracy simply cannot cope with the level of capital investments that the government is making. This is the first I'm really articulating the problem in this way. But the truth is that the conversion of the capital budget into the actual physical capital, it is very slow. And I'm certain that even the Matutes group here, in trying to get this done, and other projects and other tourism persons who are here will say that this process of permittings and approvals, it moves at a very slow pace. So Jamaica's problem is not that we can't finance the capital. Jamaica's problem is to develop the bureaucracy that can move the capital along quickly, that can convert the budgetary allocation into the road that you want. That's the challenge that we have now. So yes, I can tell you immediately that we have some very good plans to improve the road that runs along here, to build a new road inland, which will be a proper highway, to bypass Lucy and Hopewell, to make massive investments in the town of Hopewell, to turn Hopewell into a charming old town with the historical sites there properly developed to reap the tourism benefits from them. The challenge, of course, is that, you know, the town of Negril and Hopewell and Lucy, they have administrative issues, particularly Negril. And so we will have to figure out how we change the municipal arrangements to ensure that they are managed properly. And then, of course, economic diversification. What are we going to do to diversify the tourism product? You know, Jamaica is known sun, sea, and sand. We are adding some other S's to it. We are adding safety and security. We are adding seamlessness. We are building up our tourism. I don't know what other S's you're thinking of, but I am adding safety, security, seamlessness, sustainability. That was the other one. To our tourism product. But the truth is, tourism is a wide spectrum of opportunities and activities. And it can't be that we only focus on just this particular market in tourism. We must diversify tourism. So another directive that has been given to Minister Bartlett is to start the diversification in the real diverse town of Negril, where Negril has a special kind of tourism which we don't want to change. We want to enhance that tourism experience. So the directive has been given to Minister Bartlett to put together a team to enhance the tourism experience in Negril and to look at developing tourism in the south coast of St. Catherine and the south coast of St. Thomas. So we are working very hard to make sure that the Aspire pivot is well grounded in tourism. So I thought I would take this opportunity that you have given to me, Abel, to take the Jamaican people into my knowledge as to what the government is doing and to give them the information so that they can understand, so that they can place their reality within the context of what is happening. You know, I'm happy that Spain is investing in Jamaica. Spain was the first historical, let me use the euphemistic term, investor in Jamaica. And Spain is back again. But this time we're doing it differently. This time we're going to make sure that the people of Jamaica benefit from the investment in a significant way. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention.
Prime Minister, thank you so much for your vision. You know, at the heart of Aspire and your speech is really the people. Long-term supply contracts for farmers going forward in terms of sustaining our tourism sector. Tourism worker housing, crucial. Those are critical elements to ensuring that our breadbasket, the tourism sector, remains sustainable and viable for generations to come. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give another round of applause to our Prime Minister. Honorable. So much more in the speech, sir, and I'm sure the media will dissect as we go along. This is a speech that is not just one story in it, let me tell the media, it's wholly, right? And so now, ladies and gentlemen, let us now move. By the way, you see the architectural designs of the expansion on our screens. Very, very good, exquisite, and very clean cut in terms of what we can look forward to in 2 years, Abel? 2 years for the full opening. So today, we do the groundbreaking. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I invite the following persons. For those who are not part of the photo, may I ask you to sit and just turn so you are able to see the photo opportunity. Prime Minister, the most honorable Abel Matutes, the Vice President of Grupo Empresas and President of Palladium Group, the Honorable Ed Bartlett, His Excellency, Jose Maria Fernandez Lopez Toruso and Ms. Tamika Davis, His Worship the Mayor, are part of the first photograph. We're taking a series of them, maybe 2 or 3. So for the first photo, may I ask the following persons who I named to please get to the area for the groundbreaking. And for the second photo, I will add a few more persons. In the first photo as well, may I ask the tourism representative and newly minted Senator Delano Seabright to also join that one. In the second photo, we will have a few other persons joining, including Janice Allen, who will join the second photo, and some others. But let's do the first photo first. So, the Prime Minister, Abel, the Minister of Tourism, Senator Seabright, His Excellency, the Ambassador of Spain to Jamaica, Ms. Tamika Davis, the Member of Parliament, and His Worship the Mayor will be part of the first. The Member of Parliament for Eastern Hanover, which we are fully grounded and situated in as well, Mr. Dave Brown, is also asked to be there. So for that first photo, I've named everyone. The Prime Minister normally does his 1 million countdown. So it's on the direction and count of those who are breaking ground. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. The official groundbreaking has taken place. For the second photo, and I believe the members of the media want to just go on taking some. So while I call the names, then we can have a change up. For the second photo, we'll have the Prime Minister, Abel, the Minister of Tourism, Senator Seabright, I beg your pardon, will be in it as well, as the Ambassador, Senator Allen will be in this one, Ms. Tamika Davis and Mr. Dave Brown, His Worship the Mayor, along with Juan Sabrino of Grupo Empresas Matutes, and Anna Morillo, the General Manager of the business unit here at Palladium Hotel Group. So we have all the persons involved. We have Anna and Juan joining this group, as well as Janice and Mr. Brown. Wonderful. So we do another dig into the earth. Stand by. Wonderful, and that signals the official groundbreaking for the expansion of the Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts here in Jamaica. 950 rooms to be added to this property. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure presiding over this function. And as we take our leaves, may I wish you a very productive day. Good afternoon.